Hey everyone, I'm Army Gaming, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a 72-hour challenge explanation video. The monsters available in this 72-hour challenge are Gridiron, Singularis, Super Tomato, and if you click on any monster, I'm going to click on Singularis, you'll notice there are monster cells for Monster Cat. So in actuality, there's 4 monsters to get in the next 3 days. And so probably the 2 most important questions people are wondering is A, how do I get coins in order to get monsters? And B, which monsters are actually worth getting, which monsters should you invest your time into? So I'm going to be answering that question later. I'm going to start off by explaining how do people get coins. And in order to do that, I'm going to jump into monsterwiki.com. So how to get challenge coins. You will enter the events with 315 coins. The main objective of this event is collecting coins as much as possible. You have 4 free ways of collecting them. Collecting gold from habitats, harvesting food from farms, breeding monsters in breeding mountain or ultra breeding tree, defeat opponents in player versus player arena. It's really important that you have to win in player versus player, you can't just participate in it. And for those of you that are a little more wealthy and want to speed things up a bit, you could always buy coins from the event shop. The ratio is 1.3 to 2 coins per gem spent. And once again, the monsters available in this event are Gridiron, an epic monster, Singularis, Super Tomato, and we can also include Wildcat because you can get enough monster cells to craft him. So of all the information available on monsterwiki.com, some of the most important information is this coins earning exchange rate table. This table basically shows you how many coins you get depending on the activity you perform. And the interesting thing about 72-hour challenges, unlike maze islands, unlike progressive islands, your level and how much gold you have saved up has a direct impact on how many coins you can actually get. So if you're looking at this table and you're like, Armor, there's way too much information, don't worry, the only important thing you have to look at is level. So you look at the level column and let's say you're level 55, you would only have to look at this row. You can completely forget about everything else. If you're level 55, every 8,143 gold you collect will give you 1 coin. And every 112 food you harvest, that'll also give you 1 coin. Every PvP win you get will give you 115 coins, and for every 100 breeding points, you will get 1 coin. And it's really that straightforward. Now because level directly influences how much coins you can actually get in this event, this is why you'll see a lot of higher level players saying this event is really unfair, because other events your level doesn't matter, but in this event specifically, you're kind of punished for being a higher level player. Because just take a look at what being level 90 does. If you're level 90 or above, you need to collect 91,914 gold for every 1 coin. And you might be thinking, well obviously that's fair because the higher level you are, the more habitats you have, the more gold you get. And you can make the argument, but at the same time, it's just really unequal and unfair. From my own personal experience having a lower level account, and it's really hard to distinguish a hard cap for what it means to be low level. My other account is like level 60, and if I wanted to play in that account, I could probably go to round 2. I think round 3 might be a little hard for me, but I could definitely go into round 2, whereas with my main account that's level 99, I'm going to be lucky if I can even get Super Tomato. So if you are a lower level player, if you're a new player, and you've been doing the panic and gold farming, you're going to love this event because you can get all 3 monsters, you can get Wildcat cells, and you can possibly get doubles of these monsters. Down here shows you the formula for breeding points. Breeding points is basically equal to minute times 25 plus the type bonus. Type bonus is shown below. Common is 125, uncommon is 250, rare is 500, epic is 2,500, legendary 12,500. So to give you guys a really simple example, let's just suppose a monster took 1 hour to breed. 1 hour is equivalent to 60 minutes. You would do 60 times 25 plus the type bonus of that monster. Say it was a rare, so it would be 60 times 25 plus 500, and that gives you how many breeding points. Then you divide that by 100, and that's how many challenge coins you should get. A really important note about this is that leveling up during the event does affect your event, especially if you have entered a new tier. For example, when you level up from 49 to 50, you will have to get a higher score for coins. So this is super important. Do whatever it takes for the next 3 days to prevent yourself from leveling up into a new tier. Like there's no problem if you go from level 21 to 22 to 23 to 24 to 25, as long as you don't go from like 29 to 30. 49 to 50. Basically, don't pass anything ending with 9. Because if that does happen, you're gonna find yourself having to collect a lot more gold, having to plant a lot more food, in order to get the same amount of coins as you would have if you would have just stayed your current level. So for the most part, this means don't do adventure map for these next 3 days, don't upgrade your habitats, don't purchase a new island, just pretty much do whatever it takes to prevent yourself from getting experience points. For those of you actually interested in purchasing coins, this is a table to look at. Obviously, the more you spend, the better value. I'm not really going to talk much about that, but feel free to go to monsterwiki.com and look at that for yourself. And this is information pertaining to the 72-hour challenge that I always like to go over. The 72-hour challenge is a flipping card island. So the way this works, you'll basically just click on a monster you want, you'll see all the available rewards, the cards will flip over on their back, they'll shuffle around, and you have to select the card, hoping to get the one you want. Now the most important thing that I have to remind people a lot of times is that your cards are randomly generated in server side. It won't be changed. When you claim the current card, the next reward will be generated also randomly. The monster card will only be generated when the chance is above 0%. Card shuffling is just animation. It does not include the correct position of rewards. It doesn't matter which card you choose. The result is the same as the current card is already defined as you claim the previous card, so trying to keep track of the card during the shuffling won't get you the card you want. The reason I say this is important is because you can't download a slow motion app to make the screen go super slow so that you can pick the monster, the right card. You can't turn off your Wi-Fi so that the game doesn't save and you can try again. None of that works. If someone says they got Singularis or Super Tomato on the first try, then they're obviously lying, because according to the information, that's not even possible. Moving on, the last bit of information is the mission summary table. And this table basically just shows you all the rewards you can get, the minimum amount of coins needed to get all the cards, the maximum amount of coins if you're extremely unlucky and it takes you until the very last card to get a monster. That's how many coins you're going to have to spend. And so according to this, if you're extremely lucky, you would only need 30k coins to complete the whole event. If you're extremely unlucky, you would need 51,050 coins. Most of us is going to be somewhere in the middle if we even get a chance to complete the whole event. Taking a look at mission 2, if you wanted to get Singularis, you can only get them starting on the 15th card, and you only have an 18% chance to do so. And then the last card, the 18th card, that's a 100% chance, obviously because it's the last card. If you want more information on any monster, you can just click the highlighted blue name. Monster Wiki will send you to the specifics of that monster, and so this is the information for Singularis. Let's take a look at the 15th card. You have an 18% chance to get Singularis. On the following card, you have 25% chance. Even when it's down to the last two cards, the 17th and 18th cards, you have a 40% chance to get Singularis. And if you want to, you could also just spend gems. So if anyone tries to convince you that they got Singularis in the 14th card or below, they're most likely lying. So before I go on talking about what monsters I think are worth getting, let me just show you some actual gameplay. Right now I'm just going to collect all my food. I got some coins right there. Whoops, press X. And as you can see, I didn't get any coins. This tends to happen a lot. Normally what I do is that I just plant a blue lizard tail just to get everything, and then I'll click repeat on everything else. Oh, repeat all. Now you don't even have to do what I do with the blue lizard tail. If you just replant all of your crops and collect them next time, that's when you're going to get all your food. I just like to plant blue lizard tail just to be safe. So when I click on this, you're going to see I'm going to get all my coins. Right there, 864, keep in mind I already got 144. And then just remember to plant your black lotus root. That's all you have to do. This event, it's completely dependent on how much food you produce. So the most helpful bit of advice during this event is to have a lot of gold. Unfortunately, if you're starting this event right now, there's no way to accumulate lots of gold, so you always have to save. Personally, I really don't spend gold anymore. I spend it to buy monster cells from the shop, but other than that, I don't spend gold anymore. I just save it because I know these 72-hour challenges are difficult. As you can see, I have 1.8 billion gold, so for me this event won't be too difficult as long as I log in every hour and keep collecting my black lotus roots. And of course, once you're a higher level, it's really useful to have a lot of legendary habitats and to have a lot of monsters that produce 305 gold per minute. That way you can maximize the amount of gold you get. If we just look around my island, you can see I have a lot of legendary habitats with a lot of legendary monsters. I have a lot of boosts so I can get more gold, and yeah, that's really all you do. Have a lot of legendary habitats, have a lot of monsters that produce a lot of gold, start saving up your gold, have a lot of gold so you can afford to produce lots of food, and of course we can't forget our Harvest Guardian, Faunus the Guardian of Farming. As you progress along the game, you really want to work on leveling this monster up, because as you can see right now, he's leveled up all the way. Our farms will increase their production by 100% for 2 days. And the way the 72-hour challenge event works, the more food you get, the more coins you get. So obviously you want this leveled up all the way to max. So if you have enough gold, I highly recommend activating it. Just make sure you're smart about the way you activate it. It costs around 26.4 million to activate, so if you only have 30 million gold, it won't help you to activate it. Just use all that gold to produce food, because then you'd only have like 4 million to actually get food. You could potentially also activate the Guardian of Breeding, however I personally am going to advise against that, just because you never know when Monster Legends might throw a breeding event at you, and if we were to get a random breeding event, it would really suck to have this Guardian unable to use. And so now to discuss the monsters I think are worth getting, I'm going to start off by talking about the monster who I think is the least important to get, and I'm going to go up to the most important. So it goes without saying that the least important monster is Gridiron, our epic monster. The only reason I think he's the least important is because the other monsters are a lot better. Now stats wise for an epic monster, he's pretty good. A speed of 2760, that's one of the faster speeds. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's probably like 80 monsters faster than him, but it is still a really good speed. One thing I like about this monster is that he has a 0 cooldown stun skill, and considering he's pretty fast to start with, you can give Gridiron some speed runes. You'd be able to use this monster to stun one of the enemy legendary monsters. And next is Wildcat. I do have a monster analysis on Wildcat. If you want to check it out, there's going to be a link in the description and an annotation at the end of the video. But in a nutshell, his power is pretty good, his life he's pretty tanky, his speed is kind of where he suffers, it's rather slow. Breezing through his skills, you see a 65 damage no cooldown here, you see a 65 damage stun skill here, you see Wild Avalanche which is 55 damage and it gives you a small shield, Wild Whatever, 55 damage, damage return and shields work against each other, so running these two skills could be a little risky. Wild Wrath, 30 damage, gives enemy daze. Wild Rage, 45 damage, earth-based attack. So in a nutshell, I'm personally not a fan of Wildcat. I think there's a lot of better earth monsters. So in the context of the 72-hour challenge, Wildcat would be my second pick. So next we have Singularis, and stats wise, power is rather low, life is mediocre, his speed is also rather mediocre. There's like 10 monsters faster than him, and there's quite a bit of magic monsters that have this exact same speed, so stats wise there's nothing too impressive. His trait, he's immune to instant death, but being a magic monster, it's probably way better to be immune to possession. And skills wise, Singularis has two moves that stand out, the first of which is Singularity. It removes 50% of stamina from all targets and applies stamina leak to all targets. The fact that this goes in AoE can be a pretty powerful thing. You can imagine that if you start the game off with Singularis and activate Singularity, the enemy is going to be down 65% stamina points on the very first turn. That's pretty good because after they do one attack, they're going to have to recharge on the next turn. And the other interesting skill Singularis has is Paradox. After 4 turns, all enemies will die. So obviously, you can have some fun with Singularis. In play versus play, you can devise a team specifically to stall, just so you can win with Paradox. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I've been told that Paradox actually works against bosses in Adventure Map. So if you're struggling with a boss, hey, maybe Singularis may be for you. And in my opinion, the monster most worth getting in the 72-hour challenge is Super Tomato, the newest monster. And I recently just released an analysis on Super Tomato, again link in the description and at the end of this video, and it goes without saying this monster's speed, 3465, one of the fastest speeds for all deny monsters. He's immune to possession, so that's already good. And then we move on to his skills. He has Hunger Craze, it's a 2-turn possession. Vitamin Overdose, a skill that gives damage boost and possession to the enemy monster. Deadly Recipe, a move that can remove 50% of stamina from the enemy target. Bad Nutrition, a weaker form of Singularity from Singularis. This removes 25% of stamina from all targets and gives stamina leak. And if you're interested in using Super Tomato for player versus player, he also has an AoE possession, although it does drain 25% of your life. But again, if the enemy monsters are going to be possessed, what does it matter if you lose 25% of your own life? It goes without saying that Super Tomato is by far the best monster to get in the 72-hour challenge. And I'm still very much convinced that for offensive purposes, for Team Wars, Super Tomato may just be one of the best magic monsters. But this is of course my opinion. Anyways, with all that out of the way, that is going to conclude my video on the 72-hour challenge. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments below which monster you're going to be going after. I wish everyone the best of luck in this 72-hour challenge, especially you high-leveled long-term players. Good luck to all of you. And like always, remember to dream big and pursue your passions.